Hey, Skeet here, welcome to my Skeet Guitar channel. Today I'm going to be teaching you how to play my arrangement of the Christmas classic Silent Night in drop D tuning. It goes something like this. Let's dive straight in. So first of all, if you don't know what drop D tuning is, we simply lower the E string by 2 frets worth to a D. So I'll show you quickly. I'm still in open D from that last performance, but I'll put it back in tune into standard. Right, so all I'm going to do, you can throw a tuner on it, but we can also do this by ear, so this is good ear training. How I do it is I play my D string, then I play my low E, and then I'll lower it slowly. You'll hear it come into tune. Now, one little hint I can give you actually is to go a little bit lower and tighten up into the note. Tune up. There we go. So everything else has remained in normal standard tuning. All we have to do for any of our chords now is just add 2 frets on to where we normally play in standard tuning. So that means a G is now at fret number 5 as opposed to fret number 3. Okay, so let's just dive in. Our first finger, we're going to place it on the B string at fret number 3. We're then going to take our middle finger and place it on the G string at fret number 4. And then finally, our ring finger goes to the fret number 5 on the low E, or now the D string. Okay, so this is our G chord. We start by placing our thumb on the low bass note, 3 fingers on from string 2 to string 4, so the B, G and D. We start on the outer 3rd finger on the B string. We pinch with the bass note there. Then we use our middle finger, then our 1st finger, so. Okay, now we're going to reach to that open E string on the 3rd finger and play the B string as well on our 2nd finger, so that is. I'll do that again for you. Okay, now we're going to remove the fingers, still on the B, G and D, and we're just going to play 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 2. So those 2 together. Okay. Now, the next chord is a D, but with a high A. So you can play a regular D and stretch that pinky up if you like. I find that stretch a little bit too awkward. So what I'm going to do is take my middle finger, which is normally on the high E string, and put it here in the 2nd fret of the B. Extend my little finger to the high A there. That's the 5th fret on the high E string. Okay, so that's just 3, 2, 1, 2, 3. Now it's a regular D. We just do the same picking pattern on that. So that is 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now we're going to a C major, but we put our little finger here on fret number 3 of the high E string. So again, 3, 2, 1. We're going to disrupt the pattern now slightly just for melody. So the next note we need is on the 2nd fret of the high E string. Notice what I'm doing here. So the finger, my middle finger that was playing the D string at the 2nd fret is now coming to the high E string at the 2nd fret, but I'm maintaining my chord here, yeah? That's important because we are going to be playing these notes. So if you find that difficult, I do have an exercise up on my YouTube channel playing a G major scale within a chord. Now that teaches us how to use this middle finger all the way down near our feet, okay? So I'll put a link up for that if you think you might need to look at that. But just to carry on, so little finger on the G there, that high E string, 3rd fret. So 3, 2, 1, and now we're going to play this E string twice, once with this finger on, once with it off. Okay, back to the G, this time without these fingers on, so it's just a 1-finger chord, ring finger at the 5th fret. We're going to bounce off this G string. Okay, so it's just, the fingers are just playing this. But we're going to change chord all the way through that. So we start on the G. So that's an A minor 7, I guess, but we're only playing the C from it here, the 1st fret of the B string. So that is, and then into this G inversion, G slash B. Okay, so to put that in context, okay. Now everything for the next few bars is going to start feeling familiar because we've already played it. So back into that C, this time without the little finger on at first, but it's about to go on, look. Okay, so 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 2. Pinky on, and then that same move. And then this next phrase is exactly like the intro. Okay, so. Now we're going to do that walk up again. Now, for the next phrase, I don't do the walk up, so we're just going to hang around on that G. We go back into the extended D. Now, we're going to slide this pinky up to fret number 8, okay? And that's 8 relative to the capo. Now, as it slides up, I put my index finger on fret 5 ready because that's my next melody note. So I'm just setting this up ready. We also need to fret 2 more strings, and that would be the B and the G string at fret number 7. Now, I find it easier just to bar across those 2 on my middle finger here. But many of my students play it with 2 fingers there, which is also absolutely fine. I struggle because my fingers are quite big. So I'm just going to grip that I'm going to grip those 2 strings on my middle finger. So from this extended D here, little finger up to 8, first finger on 5 ready, and then gripping the B and the G string at the 7th fret. Okay, and the only bit of melody there really is just by removing the little finger. We've set this up ready, haven't we? So that's 3, 2, 1, 3, 2. Okay. Then we go back to a G. I play this using my thumb now, so I hook my thumb over at fret number 5, but you can use your ring finger, and I will show you both ways of playing it. But let's start with the thumb because that's how I play it. So thumb is at 5, index finger's at fret number 3 on the high E string, okay? So we look something like this. We're going to walk up from 3 to 5 to 7. Now, for that stretch, I find it easier to use my middle finger for the 5 and then reach up there with the pinky for fret 7. If I do this on my 3rd finger, it makes that stretch much, much harder. So take most of the stretch up here, and it's an easy reach then with the pinky up to fret 7. So that is Okay, now if you're planning on not using your thumb and using your ring finger instead, so that looks like this. So notice there's a little crossover there on my bass note. So for the first 2 melody notes, I'm on my ring finger, finger number 3, holding the low G here. My pinky goes in. Now, as I'm sliding the pinky up to 7, notice what my middle finger does. It knocks this one out of the way, almost like a snooker ball, just being knocked out of the way, yeah? Or as I do it. The final phrasing, we now fret 2 strings at the 3rd fret. That's the high E and the B at the 3rd fret. I'm still using my thumb here. Now we're going to do some string skipping. So we play the high E, then the G, then the B, then the G, and then the B again with this finger removed, and the G again, or with the bass notes. Okay, so the high E, bouncing off that G, the B, bouncing off that G, the B again with this lifted off, bouncing off the G. Now we're playing a D again, but we just take our index finger. We're not playing anything higher than the G string at the moment. So index finger goes in at fret number 2 of the G string. My thumb again is on the low E, the low D there. And my index finger is on the D string, string number 4. Okay, so I pluck all 3 strings, then I hammer up to 4, I pull, and I pull again open. Okay? I then play the open D string, I hammer at fret number 4. Now I like to use my middle finger here because I'm going to resolve back to that G chord at fret 5. So open G, and then there we go, back to the root. Back to that D, back to the G, and then this. And that's the whole entire cycle. So let me play through that really slowly for you. So starting in this G position. And that's it, guys, my arrangement of Silent Night in drop D tuning. If you found this lesson useful, please drop me a comment and consider subscribing. I post new guitar-related content every week to my YouTube channel. Usually a lesson, sometimes gear reviews, sometimes performances. That's every Wednesday at 6 p.m. UK time. And then lots of little hints and tips throughout the week. Anything from guitar maintenance right through to little riffs, you name it, I've got it covered on my channel. So if you hit that subscribe button, come back next week for another brand new lesson. And until then, do your practice, and I'll see you in the next one.